but the battery is just freaking tiny on it. So this right here, it's at 74 watt hours. I don't know if you notice, if you try to have a gaming laptop, it's useless for gaming on its battery. So today I'm going to haphazardly connect 440 watt hours, which is what, like close to, well, not 10 times, but you know, several times what this battery capacity. Not to mention this is junk and it costs like probably $160 to get a new one. So to do that, I'm just going to go over the junk on the table here. We have a step-down converter, and we have two 10 amp hour 22 volt batteries, or nominal voltage of 22.2, maximum voltage being, what is it, 25.2, and discharge voltage of 19 volts. Works quite nicely with this because the laptop only wants 19.5 volts, so when you're getting to the end of the life of the batteries, the laptop will cease to function because this step-down converter will only step down, it won't step up. So you can't destroy your batteries because the laptop voltage is going to be higher than the discharge voltage of these lithium series parallel arrangement of batteries. So that's what I'm going to do today. So this is going to step down. These are my connectors. So I'm just going to use some XT60 connectors. Soldering station from Haku. They're not paying me to say that. I just really been liking that. And this is to power my other camera. So laptop mod. So I got it all completed. I'm just going to talk about the buck converter a little bit more. So I added a fan to it, so it should turn on at about 65 degrees Celsius. One fun thing about buck converters is they will maintain the minimum voltage. This is a step down buck converter, so it always has to have a voltage higher going into it than what's coming out of it. So in this case, I like to keep the battery's voltage very close to the end user's voltage, so that the buck converter handles a very small amount of power and just basically puts the voltage through, and the only voltage it deals with is the difference it has to make up between the battery and the end user. So if I had a 36 volt battery and I stepped it down to 19.5 volts, this buck converter would be doing more work and getting hotter than if it had a 22 volt battery stepping down to the laptop voltage of 19.5 volts. So that's why I've got the 20 volt batteries, is because that's the closest thing I can get, and it's the most efficient thing I can do to make sure that this works as little as possible and doesn't overheat. Of course, you're always going to be limited by the thickness of the wires, and for that you have a fuse right there, and that will blow if the laptop draws too much power. I think this is limited to about 7 amps of current flow, and they rated it at 300 watts, but really the circuitry inside of here is only dealing with the wattage of making that step up and step down. It's not like it's recreating, you know, the power, right? It's not handling as much as a let's say a step up from 12 volts to 120 volts, like you see a lot of car equipment to have 120 volts in the car. So anyway, I'm just gonna plug this back into the laptop. This is the charger. So all I really did in this mod is really simple. I soldered a XT60 connector on here. This is the female variant, and this is the male variant. So this can just power the laptop off of the wall by connecting these two like so. The laptop will get power. Or we can ignore that and bring in the batteries. Plug in the buck converter. Bam. A little spark because it charges the capacitors. And then plug in this. And now the laptop is connected to this battery. So I can hit the power button. I still leave the battery connected to it so that it doesn't have to face an interruption if something goes wrong. I just want to show off getting the games running at just to see how much power it'll draw and if this can sustain the laptop. But it can. It's capable of 8 or 7 amps, and it's not doing a lot of work to change that voltage over. So yeah, I'm just gonna watch it run a game. laptop's power adapter says it needs, what, 7.7 amps at 19.5 volts, so this should be up to it. My benchtop supply was just kicking out, so the only thing I can test it with is the battery. So here we go, count name. So I'm just going to do a quick game run. The main point of this is just to demonstrate that a laptop cannot game as well. Like it power throttles all of its hardware on its battery so it can last a bit longer. In truth, at maximum power, like this thing's charging its battery, running its optical drive, powering USB devices, this 440 watt battery can only last an hour at full power performance, which is just a testament to like how freaking much power a gaming laptop uses. Like, that's a lot of power. Actually, it should be, no, I made a mistake. I'm gonna double check my math on that. I think that's wrong. It should be longer. Because, no, 400 watts, 150, yeah, it should last 4 hours on this battery. Yeah, it should be able to last 4 hours. Oh shoot, I'm gonna get in trouble for leaving. Oh well. I'm not gonna play it for me. Thank goodness. Cancel search. Training. Like, this isn't even getting that warm, and it's running a freaking computer game. Of course, like I said, not handling that much power.